Okay guys, Swiss Moist Dilani Python Dinada Sana. Welcome to this session. In this session we will actually cover what is middleware and how to use middleware in Django. Okay, so before I proceed, I would like to apologize for not uploading video for so long. Okay, I was actually busy with some stuff in my office, but also I had almost 1 month holiday. I'll actually show you some few picture and some few videos on how I enjoyed it in my holiday. Okay, so you're welcome once again. So I would like to start by telling you the meaning of middleware. Okay, so middleware are we can say are the functions. Okay, the function in Django. These are they act as an entry point for the request and the response. So any request before reaching on the Django view and any response before getting out before being returned or before getting out from the Django view will pass on middleware. So in short, we can say middleware, they are global function which are executed before the request has reached to the view and has before the response get back to the end user of the system. I hope you actually get a clear picture of what is middleware in Django. Okay, so there are different scenarios where you can use middleware. Okay, you can use middleware to implement something, like to log the request, and this is actually what we are going to do. We are going to create middleware which will log every user request. Okay, we'll want to get the current IP address, we'll want to get the path visited by a user, but we'll also want to get the method, okay, a user is using. Okay, so that's it. You, as I've told you, that you may think on using middleware in any scenario you want. Another use case you can use middleware, let's say you have a system which has file upload as functionality, and after a security assessment, maybe a security expert has identified that your system is vulnerable to file upload and restricted file upload, and maybe it's possible that there are different parts of your system where you have implemented the file upload functionality. Let's say it's almost 6 parts of your system, or maybe 7 parts of your system you have implemented the file upload. So you can actually create a middleware which will try to check which are the allowed file extension to be uploaded, or which are the allowed file content to be uploaded. So that is another use case. But you think of anything, what I would like to to let you know that middleware are the global function which are being executed before the response reach the view, before and after. Okay, so that's it. So get prepared. I'll actually not create the project from the scratch, but I'll actually show you quick one. I've already created a simple Django project and I'm using visual environment, so I'll actually show you a small highlight of what it takes to create a simple Django project and use visual environment and so on. So get prepared. Uno, dos, tres, vamos. Okay guys, after a brief introduction and a small highlight video, it actually gives you a picture of what it took me to get here. Okay, so inside of my project we have an application, my app. So inside app, make sure we create a file with the name middleware. So the first thing to do in a class is creating a constructor, and the actual constructor is used to initialize the object. Okay, so we actually need to configure our logging. We need to specify the file name, okay, the type of log, if it is warning, if it is info, if it is an error. So let us create a logging configuration. So this is actual logging configuration. It actually specifies the file name to log. It actually specifies the type of log, and this is actually the format. Okay, so there will be a date, then after there will fall a log, which is a message. Okay, and this is actual the date format to be used. Okay, you can change any date format according to your customization or according to how you want to log on your log file. Okay, as I told you that this is actual a constructor in init method. It will actual being it will be instantialized. Okay, when it's setting up the middleware. Okay, it actually be I can't instantiate. It will actually be instantiated when we register our middleware in our setting. Okay, that's okay. So another function we are going to create is we are going to create a function call. Okay, in short, call, this is an entry point for our middleware. Okay, so everything everything we want to achieve in our middleware will be done in call function. Okay, so any request before reaching in the Django view or any response coming from the Django view before going to the client side will pass on this function. Every request must pass on this function. That's why I can say it's an entry point or an entry gate for a middleware, especially our request logger middleware. Okay, so the main thing we are going to do here in this function is extracting current IP address. As I told you in our introduction that our middleware will be capturing current source IP address, the method used by client, the path visited by client, and the time used to send a request. Okay, but before we proceed, let us create another function which will help us to extract the IP address. Okay, I hope the sequence will be clear. Okay, so we begin with creating a function which will extract the current IP address, then you will use it in call function. As I told you that call function is an entry point of our middleware. So let us create our function. It is a static method. So as the name suggests, it gets current IP address. So we want to extract the current IP address from request.meta. Okay, actual request.meta is actually a, we can say, a dictionary object. It's like object. It's like a dictionary object. Dictionary object which contains HTTP request header and a different metadata. It actually contains HTTP X forwarded for, which hold or contain the current IP address. Okay, so we extract client IP from meta, which is a dictionary like object, okay, containing HTTP request headers and different metadata. So whenever we fail to get an IP address from X forwarded 4, we can try to get it from remote address, okay? It's also from meta, okay? So IP address will be request. So the function will return IP address. As I told you that it will actually try to look for IP address from HTTPX forwarded 4 or from remote address. Okay, now we can actually get back. We can actually get back to our. We can actually get back to a call function which I told you that is an entry point for middleware. Every request must pass in this call function. Okay, so what we can do here is the first thing is extracting a current IP address. So we are calling a function we have written here, okay, to get the current IP address. Then after we log the details to the request file, okay, request.log, and this file will be created on the root project folder, okay, after our request logger middleware being instantiated, okay. Logging.info. So we have to do small formatting here. So we take the current IP address, path, and the method, okay. Plus here we specified it to take the date of a request being submitted. So after doing this, what we can do here is, as I told you that when creating a middleware, it will actually, every request will pass to the middleware before reaching on the Django view, okay? So after processing the request on the middleware, we need to pass the request either to other middlewares if we have, maybe. I assume if we could have another middleware like file upload middleware, which actually checks for file extension before passing the request to the view, okay? So we needed to return the request either to other middleware or to the Django view for being processed after processing it. So we can achieve it by doing something like this. We return get response request. I hope everything is okay. So you can see here, okay, after date here, so this message will come here, okay. So we'll have a date, we'll have current IP, we'll have request path, and we'll have request method. As I told you that this line will make sure that the requests, after being processed with middleware, it will be passed either to another middleware or to our Django view. So this is a simple middleware for logging, okay, for logging request. Okay, so let us come here, okay. So what we can do here, you can actually copy this. Okay, so our middleware is from my app, okay, my app, then my app.middleware.request logger middleware, okay. So request my app.middleware. Okay, all right guys, so it's something like this. if everything is okay, as I told you that this part, okay, this part, which mainly include the basic configuration, okay, will be, constructor is actually being, as I told you, constructor will be instantiated after at the early stage after setting up our middleware. Okay, as you can see here, there is a file which has been created. Okay, so as soon as after registering our middleware here, this constructor will be executed, and it will create a file request logger. Okay, so if we open up this file, you can see it is empty. But if we refresh here, okay, you can see here there is a date, there is an IP, there is a path, and there is a method which is get. Okay, so if we copy here, and if we try to admin, okay, you can see it has logged. Okay, there is a get admin slash login. The method is get. If we try to log in with incorrect credential, we'll see. Alright guys, you can see the time for the request, the IP address, the path, and the methods. After this, sum up the end of our today's session on how you can use middleware in Django. This is actually just a simple use case. From here, as I told you, that middleware is nothing else but a function, okay? Function which acts as a entry point for all requests before reaching to the Django view. So every request and response will be passed on middleware before and after coming in and out from the Django view. Okay, another case which you can think of implementing a middleware is like you can have maybe your system which have file upload functionality in different parts of your system. Okay, and then maybe after some times you had a security assessment with security expert, and they told you maybe your system is vulnerable. Okay, and you need to to fine tune your source code so as you can mitigate the file upload functionality. Okay, instead of finding each and every part of your project you implemented file upload, then after restrict and authorize the file extension, you can think of creating a simple middleware. Okay, so every request before reaching in any Django view, you check the file extension. Okay, then after you proceed. So you can actually think on, okay, you just think on simplicity. Is it easy to find each and every part you implemented the file upload functionality, then after adjust the source code or create a simple middleware which will actually solve your problem? Okay guys, this sum up the end of this session. I hope you have enjoyed it. Put your put a comment below to just share the experience of where do you use middleware in Django? Okay, what is the use case? Let's exchange idea guys. So before closing up this session, let me thank you in, if not 9, it's 10 different international languages. Asante sana, thank you so much. Muchas gracias, muito obrigado, merci beaucoup, kamza hamida, aita, denawad, danke, shukran.